if I die tomorrow. I hope you hear these words. I ain't here to flip no birds or sip no syrup. Hope the future generations could get this urge. Stay woke, youngin', and avenge these nerds.
I'm not ready. Welcome.
Hey,
what's going on, everybody? Welcome back.
What's up?
The
What is
boys
up?
are back.
Happy
Happy
New
New
Year.
Year! First episode of the new
That's
year.
right. That's right.
At a week hiatus, but we are back in it to win it.
So
Feel like-
needed. I don't even feel like it felt like a full break because we all had other shit going on, but it was
Always
nice.
busy. Always busy. Which
Yeah.
we're gonna leave with that with announcement of how busy we were because we got announcements because we're gonna do that because it's fun announcements. And as you say, like, yeah, we wish we had that extra week off because we were still busy because
Man.
I'll let you do that announcement, Law.
So yeah, I wasn't even watching. I was looked away for like 2 seconds. So yeah, this Saturday is not only my birthday, but is the day that To the Boy That Grew Up, my first book, drops. I found out that I got the copyright approved and all that other fun stuff. So not only was I already doing a subathon Twitch stream kind of thing on Saturday, but it's also the day I released my book. I have pre-sales going on now for the digital copy. I just got order in from somebody, one of my mom's old coworkers. Shout out to you. And then yeah, we're dropping the physical copies also on Saturday, so it should be a good time. I'm super excited.
Congratulations, friendo.
Thank
there
you.
you go. See, look, we're busy behind the
Is,
scenes, in front of the scenes, all the scenes.
It's
Left, right, right, left.
15 poems, 15 photos that I've curated over the last however many years. Also, all of the prints except for two. One is a wedding photo of two of my best friends, and then a baby photo of myself. Nobody wants a print of that. Those two aren't available in the print shop, but every other print plus more. I have like 32, I think, or more prints in my print shop available right now.
If you want a print of Baby Law, please say Baby Law in the chat. Go ahead. In the comments. Just do it. Just do it. Like and subscribe.
You're not gonna get it. Like
also too.
What is this? The Facebook 30-year challenge? Like, what the fuck we doing here, man?
Did the 10-year challenge. Like, the only difference is that my cheeks are like what? I don't have the fat cheeks anymore. But announcements with this too is that if you guys missed it, I believe you could go back to the Twitch channel. We were on the Amazing Pong, the Mighty Pong's Twitch channel on the Sin Shop. And if you missed it, you missed a mean old-fashioned, smoked old-fashioned made by the one, the only Tone from across the hall.
We got gotta get that. It was a very, very good conversation. Even after you left, brother, you left, and me and Tone kept it going for a little bit longer.
I'm sorry,
from 10:30 to like 4 to 3 in the morning or something.
It was a lot.
It was a long time.
I had Willow's graduation in the morning. Willow graduated from doggy class. She graduated from beginners, so she knows a little bit of tricks now. She's still a lovable pain in the ass. We love you, Willow.
But she doesn't listen to you.
No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't listen to me when Pepper's around. And every time we walk by your house, she want to go see Pepper.
Oh, my ears were burning. Yes. What's going on, Mom?
They're burning because we're saying you're gonna be here for episode 4 because that seat is ready for you, bro.
It is ready.
Better be watching it. All right, so that's enough with the announcements. Other than that, if you guys have not been listening to the Medusa's Cascade, I mean, you're living under a rock somewhere, so please go listen to the Medusa's Cascade at inbeon.com. Again, if you need me to spell it out, that's inbeon.com. All right.
Yes.
I love how Seabass cleared his throat so that you could do the spoiler warning.
It is what it is, right? It is what it is. So, as you all knew before we left for our official break and not the fake break that we gave you for the second last episode of Hawkeye, we were coming back right before the new year with a wonderful surprise, which was the drop of episode 1 of the Book of Boba Fett. And we now have 2 episodes that we're being talking tonight. We're going to be talking about chapter 1, chapter 1, Stranger in a Strange Land, and chapter 2, The Tribes of Tatooine. We'll be diving into both of these fantastic episodes, really just giving it all, really getting to see what the Sand People really are, and not just cannon fodder from the original trilogy, not just people, not just people for Anakin to kill in the prequel trilogy. Legit culture that we see, representation. I fucking loved it. My man Boba Fett climbed out of the Sarlacc pit. We all knew this. Patton Oswalt called it in his Rambo from Parks and Recreation, and we get the twins, cousins of Jabba the Hutt, showing up to throw some shit down. We are talking about it tonight. Happy New Year, Orellas. I'm glad you're here with us, bringing in the new year. Throw in your comments, throw in your theories. We're all here for it, and let's get to it. Talking Book of Boba. Let's go.
Okay, I'm gonna let you guys start this one off.
Let's
I'm gonna
go.
do something new this year. I'm gonna take the bottom, Tony. You take the top. There you go.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. All right. Well, I guess let's talk about what everyone thought this was going to be. How Boba got out of the Sarlacc pit. What were your thoughts?
So the way, so I'm not a big because that was what, Parks and Recs.
Yes, it was a Parks and Rec where he pretty much did what Disney did and combined the MCU and Star Wars into a filibuster.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in that, I saw a bunch of it in like on TikTok and a bunch of places where they were doing the side by side, and I was like, holy shit, like that's awesome that they would like take that. I don't know if it was because of that or it was going to be a plan anyways, but who knows. I thought it was pretty awesome because I think the big thing was, our first question, like, how did he get out, because it kind of raised that same question like with Darth Maul, when Darth Maul died, or we saw him die in episode 1, and then we all of a sudden see him come back later on in Rebels, I believe.
Yes.
We're just like, oh shit. So like they're starting to do that a lot more with a lot of these characters, and for a long time I think Boba Fett was a beloved character, but I think it was like his hype wasn't what the movies gave us. So like a lot of the outside either books or lore or comics gave us that, and now we're getting to see it live action, and it's amazing because he's actually living up to a lot of his namesake, being the badass bounty hunter that he is, and top of the fact that we got all those hints from the Mandalorian, so we were already salivating, going, holy shit, homeboy reprised his role, like, it's not third. So it's amazing so far, especially with that opening sequence where like, oh, he's a badass. This man is like, he's a survivor. So I was here for it.
Yeah.
Love seeing inside of the digestive system of Snorlax. Sarlacc. I said Snorlax.
What is that? A love child between a Snorlax and a Sarlacc? Man, that I don't
Happy
want
New
that.
Year, Vic.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
For me, this opening was really good, and I mean, I'll say it this: it's like the episode does have a slow burn, and I feel it picks up in episode 2, but we did get to see Boba as a survivor. That's what he is, and I kind of like that we're getting this period of after the events of Mando and before the events of Mando, and it's kind of like merging kind of together. It reminds me of the movie Memento in a way, but it's not, because Memento was working together to get that midpoint, and we know that that's not happening with this, but it's interesting to see this retelling of the telling of what happened to Boba, who did not get as much airtime in the Star Wars original trilogy, and became the most popular character that fell down in a digestive system. But it was pretty interesting too to see the stormtrooper there and how he yanked the stormtroopers. Yes, they are. Listen, I am allowed multiple names to mess up, and I will keep on. There we go.
I don't think allowed is the way it goes.
It's his. Listen, it's gonna.
It is my shtick. That's it.
I'm
not even a shtick. It's not a shtick.
Listen, I'm not looking forward to it when we talk the new Game of Thrones series. So it is what it
is. Listen. I'll even do it now. Like this is Lawrence, and then this is Antonius. There we go. We're gonna mess up names.
Lawrence. Wow. Okay. Anyway, we're done. I'm done with you. No, it was.
I'm done for you.
He's done. All right. So it was very cool to kind of to see him rising up from the Sarlacc pit and just kind of reflecting on all the shit that Boba went through
Mm.
as a kid, and being there when his father was killed, and trying to take on this mantle of being a bounty hunter, and just being who he was in Empire, which was like he takes no shit from nobody,
Right.
and then kind of flipping it and rising back up. And you see that, and you're seeing it here. You're seeing him rising up through the star to the star. I'm just going to say Snarlack, Jesus, to the Sarlacc pit, and juxtaposed to what he's trying to do, with him becoming the new leader, the new ruler. And they're really trying to do this between these two episodes of him coming back up and being with the Sand People, and then him trying to figure out how can he rule being just and fair and through honor, as opposed to being sort of like a sleaze bag that Jabba was, like a crime lord. So the show's really, really diving in on this redemption, proving yourself sort of arc that we never really thought we were going to get from Boba. When we saw him in The Mandalorian, it was just cool to see Boba's back. Like, we knew he was back, but it was like cool to see him back. And then he had the armor, and then he did all the cool moves. But we were all kind of wondering, what are we really going to do here? Because he took over, he went in and took over, to replace Jabba. So it's a cool path. I don't know if anyone saw it kind of coming, because of the way the expanded universe took Boba Fett and how the fandom took Boba Fett to be this greater, more badass of a character. And now we're getting some principles that we didn't know were there, and maybe they weren't there until he went through this trauma, which was in the Sarlacc pit, and then through the proving himself that he got when he was with the Sand People. So anyway, we opened up with the Sarlacc pit, and we kind of get a little bit extra. So we got the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian. We get that little teaser of him showing up and killing Bib Fortuna and sitting on the throne. And we kind of start from there, and we get him being dressed in his clothes and his armor, which was this is kind of a flex, really. It's pretty dope. And he
Also,
goes
we see him in the tank where like he's having these flashes of dreams, nightmares. We're not really sure, and he brings that up to Finnick.
Yeah, and so we get his audience, everyone kind of giving him patronage until we get to the mayor's proxy, in which it was more of a, hey, we're expecting patronage from you, not you giving patronage to us. How do you, based off the 2 episodes we've seen so far, because I think we'll kind of just mix them both as we're going through it, as opposed to doing like episode 1 and 2. How do you feel Bib Fortuna was being used, and then as Boba came into play, what the mayor's expectation of him was?
I kind of like the fact that it just showed that Bib Fortuna was an opportunist. So with Jabba the Hutt just biting the dust, he was like, yeah, I'm just gonna take over, because it's like it was just very, and I don't think he was really well respected after Jabba the Hutt, because of how the mayor is acting towards Boba Fett. And it's like, would he have acted that way towards Jabba? I don't think he would have, or anything like that, or talked to him in any way. So I don't believe Bib Fortuna actually had control. He was just sitting there keeping the throne warm for Boba.
Yeah, I think like it was funny, that whole like interaction between Boba and the mayor. First of all, like let's go back, because I know there's a lot of people who are like, Boba is just showing his mask, and like he's always walking around without a helmet, all this other stuff. But it's like, though he is a Mandalorian, he's not really a Mandalorian. Like, he doesn't
technically is it
right?
Well,
like
he's
he
not,
doesn't.
a clone.
But also the whole, if we're looking at the mask thing too, that was literally just for Din.
Right.
Yeah.
That was his group, in regards to you can have the mask on. No person can see you without your mask.
Right.
That was like that, subsect of Mandalorians. When he meets the other Mandalorians in season 2, they're all like, "What are you doing? Take the mask
they're
off."
just like, yeah, right. But like we see that where like he's just walking around the streets, and even Fennec is like, "What are you?" And he's like, "Listen, I'm not here to show like." I'm not here to like hide my face, and whatever the case is, like people are gonna know who I am, and it's not like some random behind the suit. It's me. I'm gonna lead with respect. which I fucking what a line, what a fucking line, what a G. But then you see like when he goes to the mayor after like that whole altercation with the assassination attempt, and the mayor's like giving this like it wasn't me. Glad you brought him back, and I almost believe the mayor because I feel like what does he gain by killing Boba Fett? Like he's just a guy. He knows that the criminal like outfit of this like city is run or runs the city. Like he's just a face, he's just a figurehead. He makes sure things are dot the I's and cross the T's. But like that whole interaction was like, can I give you some advice? Can I? And I was just like, yo, he's either genuinely just like doesn't care and just knows that he himself is cannon fodder, and he's like, yo, you can kill me anytime you want, or he's playing a very, very dangerous game, and I would love to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I think the mayor is definitely playing a dangerous game. He's hedging his bets.
Mhm.
From what I was reading online is that Bib Fortuna was kind of there just as a figurehead for the Hutts up
Mhm.
until coincidentally when the twins show up, and it just happened to be that the twins and Boba are showing up at the same time. I don't think the twins knew about Boba. They just showed up and they're like, "What's going on here?"
Who is Omega a copy of? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Well, if you really think about it, I believe that the original clone is going to be Boba's father because they use his DNA to
Jango.
kind of create Jango Fett. So because he was actually a Mandalorian, they used his DNA to actually create all those clones. So I feel like
Mhm.
if anyway, most of the clone stuff is going to be linked to Jango Fett, and pretty much that's Boba's extended family. Is that those are all his brothers and all that. So Omega would definitely be linked somewhere towards him. That's what I feel.
She is. So what they're saying, because she was in Bad Batch, and that she's from Jango. I didn't finish Bad Batch, so that's kind of why I had to do a quick look up. So she's from Jango. She's just I guess a female strain of Jango is what they did for her. And that's kind of what the wikis are saying. But it'll be cool if we get a version of her in these live actions, because Boba can have someone else because the clones are no longer here. It's just him.
Well, I got a fun question. Go ahead.
I was gonna say so we said like this takes place around the same time as the Mandalorian. So where does this take place in the universe again? Like
Mandalorian, I believe it's 5 years after Jedi. If I recall, it's 5 years after Jedi. However, I don't know if we have a timeline of when he gets out of the Starlight Pit. The cruiser is long crashed and looks like a lot of sand came over it. So once I would give it. I mean, they even say
I wouldn't.
They even say it takes like 500 years or so to get digested by the Starlight. Yeah, because if you think about it, that stormtrooper whose breath he took from was long dead. That stormtrooper was long dead. There was some acid burns on his armor, but they talk about even like I think in Empire or Return, there's a line saying you're gonna fall and you're gonna be digesting in the Starlight Pit for like X amount of hundreds of years. I don't. Yeah. Okay. So, but I don't know how long he's been down there. Now it's probably relatively early. I mean, you can live much longer without water than without food than water. So dependent if he had some sort of life support system in his suit, he's probably been able to stay there. He wakes up and gets his way out. And so he's jacked.
Speaking of the suit, how do we like the new suit, by the way, or the new kind of suit? Because it's the same base armor, but I think like the underneath.
I think the only thing they changed it to black. I think it pops out the green more.
I like it.
I like how it feels longer and it feels more flowy. Age gets to you.
Now I have the question here.
What is your question?
It was in episode 2, and this got a lot of the comic fans excited because this is a new character that was introduced in the Marvel canon. That has made his way, Black Chrysanthemum, the Black Wookiee. That just like who's also been known in the comics, who has worked with Boba before. And they worked hard to get this. I mean, this was just probably some of the best looking best looking Wookiee costume I've ever seen, and like the facial expressions and everything. And do you guys also think that this is a backdoor to introduce Dr. Aphra, who has been also tied with Black Chrysanthemum in the comics?
So I'm not sure if they're going to bring in Dr. Alfred. I think because you're bringing in there's a lot with Black Chrysanthemum that we don't know if we're going to get, because he has that past relationship with Boba in the comics when Darth Vader had them working. And it seemed like they kind of gave each other like an acknowledged look, sort of like I
My
remember
man gave him
you,
a people's eyebrow.
but like, I'm on the other side and I'll fuck you up, that type of thing. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if they keep it more focused on their relationship and what they were doing. And we probably won't see the Doctor until maybe what they do with him. And like, what is he a real player in this universe? Is it more of a show up and he's going to be here for the long run, or is he there to just be like the main bad for the Hutts? Since the Hutts ain't fighting, you're not the two twins ain't fighting nobody. He's just their proxy to fight for them once they come down to it, because they're gonna fight.
Do you think he'll betray the Hutts
if you pay him enough?
Yeah, so I feel like there's a lot of like if the money's right and whatnot, like morals can go out the window with a lot of those guys.
Like the whole thing with Black Chrysanthemum is that he left Kashyyyk because he was a Mad Claw. He purposely went to the pits. He got metal etched into his bones on his arms, and then he got out of that, became a bounty hunter, was looking for a way to get back at the twins that brought him into the fighting pits. It was like a whole to do. Like, the dude is wild. So seeing where he's at now, he has a run-in with Kenobi. That's why he has that scar along his eye. That comes from a lightsaber that interaction that he had with him. So the dude's seen some shit.
So would we possibly see him in the Kenobi show is the other question too.
So what I was looking up, and when I was doing a little bit of research on him, I think the time frame of when we're getting the Kenobi show and the time frame of when BK and Kenobi met, they missed each other. Okay. Because he was on Tatooine working for Jabba. He was working for Jabba, and he was collecting moisture from the moisture farmers.
Okay.
As a tax. That was kind of the whole thing. And then he goes to Uncle Lars's farm, and Kenobi's like, "Get out of here, fuck off, bro." And then there's a whole storyline where he goes and takes Lars thinking it's Kenobi, and that's a whole thing. And then they fight each other, and that's where the lightsaber scar goes across his eye. But I don't think we're gonna. The speculation is that we're not going to see him, like, to bring him into this show. And I think the next Star Wars show directly after Boba is Kenobi. I think I may be off, but I think Kenobi's coming out this year. Although we haven't seen a trailer for it. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, they did the whole thing with Disney showing off a lot of their stuff. I'll look up on Kenobi. Are we supposed to be
getting Mando season 3 at all? Like, is that?
I think we are. I don't think they closed the door on it. I mean, I think everyone still wants to see Jin's story, or if it's Jin and Grogu. I'm not. But I mean, you can't just end it like that.
Yeah, because like now, because he has the darksaber, he is essentially the leader of the Mandos, no?
Yeah, and I think that would be the next storyline to go along, is kind of finding his place among the Mandalorians.
And you have Fisto who still wants the saber from him.
Mm-hmm. But now we're going down the tangent of Mandalorian season 3. Let's rein it back in, talking about
sometime. There's no official date, but 2022 is listed for.
Yeah, so okay. I'm excited to see what they do with BK. I'm hoping when we see him, you need to see him through his actions. Like the comics, the people who read the comics know what he's capable of, but a lot of people are being introduced to him for the first time this past Wednesday, and I think actions for him are going to speak louder than some sort of interaction between the two of them. I'm sure we're going to see it, but even if we get maybe even seeing what are the twins going to do, right? Are the twins going to go around sending him off to do stuff while Boba is still in control, just to kind of be like, hey, we're extorting you right now. This is what we're doing. You can see that Boba Fett can't protect you, and see his actions and kind of realize that BK is not a dude to fuck with.
I'm going to call it right now. I'm going to say this because of how popular BK is. that by the end of the season, he's gonna end up joining Boba in his quest of taking over Jabba's throne, and the twins are gonna be fooled.
Listen, I think
And
it's
then I think there's a bigger bad because when they said that you need permission to kill a hut, that there's a power above the huts, like they're just
no. So
cannon fodder.
there's no power above the Huts. It's just that they have a council.
Yeah,
So think of the mafia. That's exactly kind of what this is. You've got all the families,
Right.
and if you want to kill a made man of a certain family, you need to get permission of the family and give your cause. Otherwise, if you kill the made man, you're about to have a whole fucking gang war.
Army. Like, yeah.
You know, like that's a whole to do which families do not want to have. And I think it's the same thing here with the Huts that like they're one of the big five crime, families or whatever. Like it's like five, I believe. Darth Maul's syndicate is one of them.
Mhm.
So they need to get permission from them to assassinate. Otherwise, they have so much power and clout that Boba's gonna be on the run for the rest of his life. And then at
Yeah.
that point, he can't even accomplish his goal, which is to rule Tatooine or with respect, because you're going to be on the run. You're never going to get any time to do anything good.
Right.
So yeah, so I don't think it has to do with more. I don't think it has to do with higher than the Huts, but people who are above the Huts that are above the twins. That's what I think it is, because in that council of those families, and we're gonna see how that. Hopefully, we'll see more of it. I mean, I think what's really cool about this show too is that we're getting more of that of the underworld aspect of Star Wars that we don't really get a lot of. Like you hint at it in the original in the three trilogies, and you get a good taste of it in the books, and you get a good taste of it in the games. But for like the first time in some real content, we get this underworld factor of Star Wars, which I think is really cool because Jabba the Hutt was a crime lord, he was a gang boss, and we wanted to see more of him. We only get to see him, who's a Jabba Han Solo?
I'm just loving the fact that we're getting more expanded Star Wars universe that doesn't have to deal with the Skywalker family and Jedi's and not and like the Sith Order. Like we're getting all these stories because there's so much lore and so many other things happening in this world that George Lucas created that it's a disservice to not have all these like things be highlighted, like when once we get to like the Sand People, like oh my god, like having a whole culture, and like now we actually have like a known lore and principles and like all those things, like there's so much more meaning put to them. Like that was so dope to watch.
Yeah. Like that whole arc with him becoming one of them and being integrated into their group, really fleshes out why Boba is the way why he is when we see him in season 2 of Mando,
because he's not the same Boba that went into the Sarlacc pit at all.
Exactly. He was, he and I think it was we saw it a little bit actually in Mandalorian season 2 in the first episode when Jin is working with them to fight the Crate Dragon, because like you don't episode New Hope, they're just there. Beware the Sand People. They'll take you out, and they're just there as they're gonna take out Luke. And just even though they're the indigenous of the planet, they're looked at as villains. In episode 1, they're shooting at the pod racers because of trespassers. In episode 2, we see them as cannon fodder as Anakin kills them, and I didn't feel as bad for when he's killing the Sand People, because we're meant to believe that the Sand People are, for lack of a better term, savages of Tatooine, wrecking what the people of Tatooine were doing. When in fact they're not. They're the indigenous people. Yeah. And without understanding the culture and what they're up against and what their perspective is, you then understand that what Anakin did that's why it led to the dark side.
Right.
They that's why it wasn't that he was just killing people, women and children and men of the Sand People. He's literally killing people with their own culture and their own views, and because no one understands them, they look at them as an opposition.
Right.
So it's crazy how like we're able to flesh out things that we saw in the past and kind of get different feelings for how things played out because of what we're seeing now, X amount of years later.
Yeah, I think those were all missed opportunities at the time because, again, they were just making movies at the time, so they weren't fleshing out characters. And I think that's the smartest choice that they're doing now, is that we're starting to see this universe flesh out with these shows, which I tell people is like, you know, you don't need to do a movie about everything. You can do a show, and there's a lot of lore in Star Wars, like you pointed out. Like you two pointed out, there is a lot of lore there, and seeing, and even like that there are different tribes of sand people, that they have different beliefs and everything. Again, they have a system that they follow and all that, and just how they integrated in Boa in, and then how he was teaching them. I love the whole, I'm gonna teach you guys how to ride a bike, and they were just messing that up. This guy kept falling off the bike trying to jump. I mean, that whole train scene was awesome too with the sand people. But like it just shows
Even
like
just
outside
bringing
of
them the
yeah.
bikes when they were like taking it apart. He's like, no, 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 no. Like these are for you guys. Like I want you guys to. Hey, it's Bear.
But like I was gonna say is like if you really think about like when you pointed out all the just the stuff outside the Skywalker trilogies or just dealing with the Jedi, I feel like that's why Rogue One did so well, because it was like the first, in a way, Star Wars, like outside the animations, but it was kind of like, but the animation still dealt with like Jedi and everything. This didn't have any Jedi or anything like that. It was just, the rebels versus the the Empire. We didn't have like a Jedi or anything on the side. The only thing they gave for fan service was the fact of Darth Vader on one side, but that was at the very end. It had nothing to do with the story. It was just the fact that we saw this team and they went in there and they all died. Spoilers for anyone who see that, but it's been a couple of years. And then now we saw the Mandalorian, how they've opened up this world now. I mean, we still deal with a little bit of the Jedi with Grogu, but now with Boba, we're getting that opening of the underbelly of the Star Wars universe. We're seeing and the set designs and the pieces look.
Does this open up to see the other crime bosses or crime families?
I think it does. Because you've already had the Syndicate mentioned, like around with the train. Like they go, this was, they mentioned the Syndicate and everything. And so I think we're gonna see more of the crime families, more of Tatooine. I don't think we're gonna be traveling off to any different worlds or anything. Because I feel like this is going to be the Star Wars Sopranos meets Western.
I was gonna say, like, because you've mentioned it before when we started doing Mando, that the Mandalorian is a Western, where this does feel like a Sopranos. This feels like a very like crime, crime boss kind of show. That's gonna be a very interesting take, considering like so many people who aren't quite used to that world from Star Wars, who are probably used to the, the pod racing and the lightsaber battles and the spaceship runs.
But I feel like it helps, because if you look at it this way, we'll compare it like with Marvel, like how Marvel movies now, like Captain America, the second Captain America movie, not Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, Winter Soldier wasn't a superhero movie. It was a spy flick.
Right.
And like what they're trying to do is Doctor Strange, like it's going to be kind of like a horror flick in a way with elements of horror in it. And I kind of like that we're getting beyond that superhero genre. I think that's what and I definitely with Jon Favreau, who's worked with Marvel, feel like that's what he's trying to do now with the Star Wars properties, is to show that it can go beyond this world of Jedi lightsabers fighting, all that, because there's a lot that you can actually do with this world. You can do a whole show about smugglers. And it would probably do fantastic. I mean, they didn't do well with the Han Solo movie. I still blame marketing for that, because there was really no real marketing. There were elements in the Han Solo movie, and plus also too, you were messing with lore of a beloved character. But if you take like brand new people, throw them out there with the elements of Star Wars, like, oh yeah, we use smugglers and all that, I think they would do pretty well. And they've already and again, I think Boba has that slow burn because it's different, but as you see from episode 1 to episode 2, it was just, there's a drastic experience, and it has like this up hill climb, this up incline. That's why I felt watching it.
Yeah, I mean, the show has to set up why he is the way he is. Like it has to do it, because if we don't get that period between the Sarlacc pit and now, or even if it's just the half-assed baked version, if he gets out of the Sarlacc pit and then he gets out of this.
Hey, we got a raid coming in on Twitch. What's going on, Dime and crew?
Oh, these your
What's
people?
up? Yeah. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the discussion of Book of Boba Fett episodes 1 and 2. What's up? What's
Oh,
up?
okay. Because I saw, I was like, I don't know what this is.
It's a Twitch thing. What's
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on, peeps?
That's it's all good. Yeah. So, shit. What I was about to say something, and I lost my whole track.
You got
of thought.
rated.
I got rated. I got the
Rated
rate.
with the
I got raid mine on the mind. That's what happened.
You were saying without the context from
Yes, thank you. So without the context of what he went through, the show that his whole character perspective doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Right.
Like it felt all right in Mando because he just shows up and we're like, cool, we're here for it, and we see him fighting, we see the Slave One, we see all the tech. I'm here for it, but we get this show is his show. Why is he the way he is? Why did Boba change? Why does he want to run the? Why does he want to run Jabba's? Why does he want to sit on Jabba's throne? What can he do different that Jabba did it? And it wasn't until he goes through with the Sand People and ruling with respect, and pretty much the respect that he gave them is what kept him alive. That he can do the same thing for Tatooine versus him getting out of the Sarlacc pit and flying off and just going being a badass. Like, that's cool and all, but that's not going to make a really good show. That's old. To me, that's what old Star Wars is. That's what the prequel trilogy is. All flash and no like substance. Like we knew the prequel trilogy was about how Darth Vader became Darth Vader, right? But that was it. Where like we now need these specific character driven stories with like legit stuff that anybody, even if you're not a fan of Star Wars, someone can watch this and The Mandalorian and still enjoy it for what it is, because it's a genre piece. Anyone like I think Logan did it really well. My wife's grandmother, she's not into comic book movies. She put on Logan. She was all in it because she loves action, bloody westerns. Like, that's her thing. You put on Logan, that's exactly what you get. He just happens to be a fucking mutant. And I think that's the trend for Star Wars. Star Wars needs to be legit stories in the Star Wars universe and not just banking off the Star Wars name and expecting it to be something. And I think, unfortunate, that's what we got in the sequel trilogy, and that's what we got in the prequel trilogy, because even the originals, while they are of their time, there's still like a legit story there. It's still fun and it's still having, but there's like a legit story there, and you can critique them. But where I think the other two trilogies unfortunately failed.
First thing first, hashtag nerds gonna take over the Academy Awards. And also too, how did you guys feel when Boba bursted into that bar and beat the shit out of them bikers?
Yo. First of all, I love the fact that they gave him like a more because you can like easily see from the clones to Django to Jin, and announcing Boba, like seeing Boba in the originals and then seeing him now and seeing how he got trained and like retrained how to fight is awesome. Because like, for all intents and purposes, it's not that he relied heavily on his gear, but that's like who he was. But now he's like he's with the Sand People, and he's just like, oh shit, like he was like, I'm holding it. And he's like, nope, knocks it out of his hand. And he's like, oh, all right, I fucked up, my bad. Like, I gotta, all right, let me get back in. And you see him after that when he like really learns and embraces like this culture and like what they're trying to teach him. And it's so dope that they're incorporating all this with him, because it shows that growth. Like, it's not like we've been saying this whole time, seeing that change of a character but still keeping his core, you know what I mean, like what made him from the original. But now seeing him, he's older, he doesn't have the same affiliations or the same level of like care for like a lot of the old shit. He's like, I want to do something new. I want to make a name for myself. I want to do like X, Y, and Z. He has an agenda, and it lines up with what he's been through and what he's seen. And I think with that fight, it was literally just like, I'm not with the shits. Like, let's do this. And he just like, he went to town. It was amazing. I'm here for it all day, every day.
Yeah. And one thing to add on to that fact is that what I thought was real. There's two things that I noticed when watching episode 2 when it came to the Sand People. I think we're going to spend a lot of this episode talking about the Sand People because they need the justice that is due.
I think we episode 2 was the biggest thing. It was just
but like it was the fact that the original products showcase the Sand People as aggressors in their own territory, when in reality, they adopted a person into their group and they weren't prejudiced against him.
Mm.
After they realized that, he wasn't trying to do anything to them. Because, you still sus until you're not sus, right?
Right.
But the fact is that even at the end of the day, even after he killed that thing in episode 1, they didn't just send him off. They didn't just free him and let him go die in the desert. They took him in. They made him a part of the group, really
Right.
showing that there really could have been an understanding between the citizens of Tatooine and the Sand People if effort was put in to understand their customs and what they were understanding, what their perspective was. And they really painted well just with that. And I thought it was really just maybe that, I don't know if that was the point, but I just thought it was really it was a really cool way to really see that they really just flipped what our perspective of the Sand People were.
I love that interaction when he got back, and he lets the Tuscan child like just be like, "Yeah, I did this, and third," and everyone's like, "Oh man, that's awesome!" And he's just there like letting him like take it, whatever the case is, because like he needs a win. You know what I mean? And that's a testament to like who Boba is, like in that regard. But then you see that interaction from the leader who like just doesn't really say nothing, stands right next to him, and just hands him, the water. And he's just like, respect.
Yeah.
And like, I thought that scene was so well done because it really showed like, all right, like you're not a bad dude. You know what I mean? And we had you wrong in the beginning.
Yeah.
Also, too, I want to give a shout out that robots in the Star Wars universe have a lot of personality, because that robot saw Boba come in the train. I was like, fuck this shit, I'm out. And jumped right off the fucking train. Like, yo, like, only in the Star Wars universe that the robots will be like, yo, fuck this shit. I'm out.
I almost guarantee that robot is going to make it back to the Syndicate before the other passengers or whatever the cases get there.
Yeah.
And Boba's gonna have some heat coming his way very soon.
Yeah, that definitely thought that it wasn't just he let it go for comics. It's definitely gonna come back and bite him in the ass.
Do we know the time span between, because we have that train scene and he leaves afterwards, like after gets embraced with the culture and he gets his new gear and he gets the staff. When does that take place to Mandalorian? Do we know?
I mean, it has to be. There has to be something that gets him to go to where Finnick is. I'm trying to remember what the reason was when Mando went out, because I remember Mando went out there with that young kid who was trying to make a name for himself, and then Finnick is trying to take him out. He hits Finnick, and then Boba finds her, and I don't know if he's just doing like a regular search for the clan or something had happened. It could also be that the ramifications of what Boba's trying to do for the group, for the Sand People, ends up unfortunately killing them. And then that's the drive that leads him to take over Jabba's seat, to be like, if I can't do this with these people, then I need to go higher up and do it from the top
position
down.
Of power. Yeah,
exactly.
Because if you look at the previews, there's still a couple of things that still have not happened, like the blue girl that comes in on the bike and all that. We've already seen the bikers get their asses handed to them. We don't know if that's going to have any ramifications or who they were working with, because we saw that when he first saw these bikers in episode 1, they were pillaging someone's house and pretty much bounced. So we see what
it almost felt like they were pillaging like a specific house. Like I was like, is that
no?
Like,
it had nothing to do with his house.
It looked like just a
Who says
regular
something?
regular farmer. I don't think
I was like, come on, that's a little too on the nose.
Yeah.
I think that's how all that's the real estate that you have out there. That's the house. You get a couple of rocks, dug under the sand,
and you get like a whole underground system. It makes no sense. You get the little dome, and you got the whole thing going on.
By your house on Tatooine.
Exactly. So there's one more thing I want to touch on, and then I think we definitely need to talk about the train scene. But we were, we're talking about the fact that we're not getting a lot of like the lightsaber stuff and the Force, and how the Force and lightsabers are really just a treat at this point, especially in The Mandalorian. Right. But when I'm when I watched after he got the tree trunk for his gaffy stick, right? And you saw him, I saw him bring the tree trunk. I'm like, oh shit, that's how he's gonna make his gaffy stick. I'm like, this is very cool. It's a rite of passage. Because I always knew that each of the gaffy sticks were individualized to each of the sand people. Like, it's yours. You don't like, this is your identity, this thing.
Yeah.
And we get to see it. But I immediately thought to the process of when a Padawan makes their own lightsaber. Just because you're making you still are a part of that craft process. Like, you're still making it, you're getting the crystals, you're putting it together, you're making your lightsaber your own. And then in this, there's a person who makes the gaffy sticks, but he's just there to make sure you don't fuck it up. Like, you're doing it. You're going in with all the carving tools, and you're making it, and you're making it your own. And not everyone's is going to be the same. And I really thought that there's really just something to creating the tool of your choice, the tool that's going to associate yourself with it. When it comes to Jedis, it's the Force, but really it's that fucking lightsaber. And we get that with the Sand People, that for them to be coming of age, to become I don't know if it's a male female thing, because they don't really talk about that, but to become a person of right in the group, you need to go through that pilgrimage to that tree to get a piece of it, to create your own gaffy stick, to now become a contributing member of that clan. And
also, that whole sequence, like when he had to do that, was so dope. So dope. I was like, because at first it took me a second to realize what was happening, and I was like, oh, they're sending him on like the spiritual journey. Like you have to go out, do your thing, and if you make it back, you make it back. But if you don't, like, it is what it is. And I was like, yeah.
It was that lizard peyote. Yo, that lizard violated his nose. That's all I gotta say. It just straight jumped up in there. I was like, dude, holy shit.
I mean, hey, we can all relate, man, with those fucking cotton swabs, right?
Oh my god. Not the cotton swabs. Oh,
it's the worst. But yeah,
I'm so far. Also, before we get into the train scene, can we talk about like the relationship dynamic with Fennec and with Boba? Like, how much are we loving this? I'm always down to see more Ming. Like, give me more of her, like, all the time. But like, I didn't.
Aurelis, you talking about the lizard peyote scene?
I don't think any of us saw
it coming.
No,
I'm like scared of lizards now.
What was hilarious was that he's like, I have a gift for you, and Boba's like, all right, cool. He's like, I'm thinking, oh, it's a gaffy stick, and he gives this little thing. It's a lizard. He's like, a lizard. Okay. Like, in the most respectful way, because if you go to a different culture and someone gives you something, you don't know what to do with it, you're gonna be very like, thank you so much, I'm gonna take care of it, and like, it's gonna be my thing. And then that thing just jumps into his fucking face.
I would start walking up to people and giving them lizards, like, here you go, here's a lizard.
Yeah.
Then coño,
Yep.
Oh my god.
I thought the same thing. I was like, what is going on? And then he goes on his peyote trip, and he finds the tree. That the one off, like, where the hell is this tree? I don't know. The one off tree in Tatooine, because I don't remember ever seeing a goddamn tree. And we've been watching Tatooine's been like that day one planet, and I haven't seen a tree. But the Sand People got plans. It's like Dune.
All I can imagine is this: imagine if that tree is on someone's moisture farm, the one tree on someone's moisture farm, and he sees this high Boba walking over there, just rubbing on his tree and taking the bread. It's like,
can you just imagine? Like, that same moisture farmer is looking and goes, "Oh, they sent someone out on their pilgrimage again." And he just doesn't care at this point. He's like, all right.
Listen, he's the one moisture farmer that's in cahoots with the Sand People. You don't fuck with me, I don't fuck with you. You guys should use this tree to create your gaffy sticks. I'm just here collecting moisture, man. I'm not here for the vibes. I'm not here for the smoke.
Mark just standing more in the tree again. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But I was gonna get back to the Fennec. Like, so we see, like, not only in that initial like assassination time, their synergy, like, even before when you see how much like she respects him and he respects her counsel and like that kind of thing. But you see, as soon as the fight broke out, like, how much there is synergy, and she's like, get one like alive. And she's like, bet, I know the assignment. Goes and sees both of them, yeets the one dude off. I was like, I just needed one of y'all. Like,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
what it is. But like, do you think that it feels natural, like this natural progression from what we saw in Mando when we first saw her, and then now, like, you know, that's his right hand?
Well, I mean, I think she, in a way feels like, I owe you my life because she was dead pretty much. And he went out there and he saved her. And you saw that in Mandalorian,
Mm-hmm.
just their whole chemistry there. She's like all about like, yeah, I owe this guy my life and shit like that. And it just feels like she has this respect. Shout out to the actress because she's always playing badass characters. Like she was Melinda May in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now we have her as Fennec, and she is kicking ass, and she has voiced other characters as well as many people love that are always badasses. But yeah, I feel like Fennec is Boba's right hand. That's it. She pretty much is like, fuck everyone else. I got your back. We're gonna do this. And I mean, she even questions him. She'll toss some stuff like, but she's like, you know what? All right, fine. You're the boss. She's like, yo, just tell me who we're gonna fuck up, and we're gonna fuck him up. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll give it to you with the questions, but this,
I mean, and what's cool too is like, because Boba wasn't like, you owe me we owe me your life. She's with him out of free will,
Right.
out of free will, based off what they've given us, at what they've built Boba to be. She's out there out of free will just to,
what? Sammy the Bull.
Yeah,
She put Sammy the Bull to rest.
But I think like she has like an open door policy. Like he's like, yo, like you don't have to stay here, but she chooses to stay there, like you said.
Yeah.
Also, can we talk about that one assassin that just really got overkill? He just like he's trying to climb the walls and just takes a rocket and that's it. Obliteration.
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, everyone's gonna take a rocket every once in a while. Boba's got to flex and be like, "This ain't
right." That's the thing. I think Boba was like, "Yo, I'm gonna let these people know who the fuck I am because y'all don't get it twisted. Y'all think this is gonna go down?"
I really felt like that. Yo, I'm too old for this shit moment. Fuck it. Boom. There you go.
I mean, it's like, all right, you got way too many hits in with this stupid shield bullshit. All right, now I'm gonna. Now I'm about to take out a.
That's
take
100% what it was. It was like, nah, we're not having this shit no more.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
All this QT, like shield bullshit and this parkour nonsense. Yeah, that's just for the birds. You just get a rocket and we call it a day.
That scene was tell me you rolled a crit without telling me you rolled a crit. That was it.
Yeah. and what's funny too is that he's fighting he's telling Finnick to get the one alive, and he has a perfectly capable jetpack, and he's like, I'm not doing this. I'm too old for this crap. Finnick can go do the parkour stuff, and she can go do whatever she needs to do. And then I love
she's got age and beauty, like she's fine.
Yeah, she got that. I love when they brought him back and like he didn't want to talk, and Finnick's just throwing, oh man, these guys suck. They're just in it for the name. They're way too expensive. Like she's just throwing all the shade, and then she's like, "Oh, all right, you want to talk? All right, cool. Let's bring you to the Rancor." And then they drops, and the guy just starts talking, and I'm like,
like a fucking canary.
I'm like, that Rancor's dead. Like, what? Did they get something?
You don't know that.
No, but like me as a viewer, we're like, that Rancor died.
For a quick second, I was like, did they get the Rancor like back? Like, is there a new Rancor? Like, because I was like, there's, and then you just see.
My man was shitting himself. He's like, no. He was like, I'm not gonna. It's like, yo, no.
Oh my god, that was great.
And then I was like, it's empty. Great.
Oh man, that was a big flex. I love it.
That was great.
But
man.
Tony wants to take us away with the train. That train. Amazing. Yo, 100% that's that energy. 100% that was the energy. I wasn't even supposed to work today, fam. Come on.
It's supposed to be easy, man. Like, I don't understand. This would be a quick buck. Oh man, yeah. No, I wanted us to talk about the train sequence because I just think it was like it was just a really dope action sequence and we got and also like, and it paid off because we got the we got the training montage because you always got to have a training montage for the same people learning how to ride and like doing the jump between the two rides and everything. So, but like leading up to it and seeing how it's kind of reminding you of a Western when they're going to rob a train, and how they get on the train and they're running on top of it, sliding between the carts, ripping guys out of the window. And we got to talk about the one lead warrior. Oh my goodness,
she was a badass.
Just
She's like, oh, you guys go on top. I got inside. Don't worry.
Like she flips in, and then you see all of the dudes just getting ripped out from under them, and then yeah, man, like it was a really well done action scene that it was really cool to see on that end.
Again, like I don't think there was a blaster fired in that entire sequence, and it was just awesome because you for a quick second you forget that you're watching Star Wars. You could have told me that was a scene from Dune, and I would have been like, "Oh, that shit's dope."
It sounds believable.
Yeah, that sounds legit. Like, let's go for it. So, and I think that's just a testament to again what they're doing, where they're like, we don't need blasters, we don't need troopers, we don't need any of this. Like, just give us great story, and let's expand on the universe that has been here this whole time, but no one's been really utilizing it to its full capability.
Yep, 100%.
And I think we got a lot in that with the train scene, and like I said, like you pointed out, that one sand person, because she was just that, and then the what was it? The robot was just like, oh, they're ganging up. Let me hit more power. Boom! It's like, oh shit, you're fucking people up on that shit now. But it was like, it was just the way it was filmed. And again, I feel bad for that one sand person that had to keep jumping from bike to bike and kept fucking up. It was like, dude, or the one that hit the reverse by mistake on the bike.
Everyone's got to learn. Tell me you never hit the curb before and you learn how to drive? Come on.
Roll over twice, you'll be all right.
Still hit the curb. Oh, what?
That was not us.
That was not us.
That was not us. I don't know what happened with Law. He just left.
The force was not strong with the internet.
He got blipped. That wasn't us. So yeah. So I guess all right. So I guess we're gonna be rounding it up soon. But so what do you think? So I think we have.
He's connecting back. He's coming back. He's coming back. He's in the green room. It's trying to connect. It's like, yeah, Law fell off the train.
Law fell off the train.
Yo, yeah. I would promise you, I was closing a tab on my other thing, and it closed everything. And I was like, what is happening? All day today, I've just had
good old fashioned Alt Shift X. You know,
oh my God.
the keystrokes you used when Mom was walking in when you're on the computer.
Oh my God. I was trying to close this so I could bring up something else, and it was just like, nah, everything, just gone, vamoose. Yeah. I was like, yeah, cool.
Said, fuck your internet. That's what it said.
So, what were we going to say here? Yes. So we have 7 episodes. So we have 5 more episodes left to go in the series. What are you?
Which is also like a very odd number, because
I mean, we got 7 or 8. I mean, I think Mando was like 8 episodes. So I think we get just a solid 7 or 8.
Are we only getting this first book, or are we getting more?
I have no idea.
They're probably going to see how the season goes before they come. And knowing that what they're trying to set up, they probably already are signed off for second season, and they're just going to wait till later to announce it.
Yeah,
they're like, oh yeah, one more episode left for the season, but we already signed off for season 2 coming up. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I mean, also like the other thing too. So before we sign off too, in regards to what we see in the future, there are the rumors that we are getting the Kira show.
Yep.
Like there are rumors to that, so that's more underworld stuff coming into play.
Okay.
Yeah, they just announced that. Yeah,
this is just kicking the door in. I mean, you do a Boba Fett, but really, it's just to talk about the criminal underground. I mean, shit. Even if we get like a Hutt show or something happening on No Hutta or any of these different like Nar Shaddaa, like there's so many like underground planets, or even the underground in Coruscant. Like there's so many places we can go for the underground of Star Wars. That I mean, I think this is like the
are we
first
still supposed to be getting a Ahsoka show, or is that
it's still there. It's still there. It's all there. They announced it.
Ahsoka show is definitely still happening. I think that's probably going to jump into when we get Thrawn, because that's who she's looking for.
I think they casted someone as Thrawn already.
Yeah, I think that's the plan for him, because I don't think it makes sense for Thrawn to show up in Mando if Ahsoka's not going to be in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they casted someone for Thrawn already. I'm not sure, but there's reported rumors. Don't know, but that's what I saw. But yeah, Emilia Clarke is going to be both in Star Wars and Marvel. She gave up the HBO money for the Disney money.
Well, she didn't really give up HBO money. She just
Yeah.
She says I want to be part of good storytelling.
she wants to be part of shows that have good endings, you know,
Yes.
and solid character development that we don't throw onto a train.
Then also can give you years and years and years of work.
Yeah. Heel turn, dead in the next episode.
Oh, yep. You love to see it, you know.
Yeah.
That's probably why John Cena never did the heel turn.
And I can't see that man do a heel turn in his jean shorts. I mean, that's what Peacemaker's about, right? Like his time to make a heel turn. Didn't that drop? Didn't Peacemaker drop?
I think it did.
I think it did, but I'm not.
I have not
Apparently,
watched it yet.
apparently, it has like pretty good reviews. But
I'm gonna see it.
I'll watch it, but I'm not. It's not going to be a topic of discussion.
I don't even know that I have
it's
the
going to be a
energy for it,
brief
'cause, like,
topic. We'll see. We'll see.
I liked him, but not enough for me to warrant him watching a show like about him. Like, I'm like,
I don't know. I mean, if
We don't
Idris
know.
Elba
If
was
it's-
in it, like him and his character together would have been fun. Just the way they interact with each other.
It's James Gunn. We'll see.
Pong
We'll
doesn't
see.
give a shit about it.
same Pong, same.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was Chris Pratt in there.
Oh my god. No. Moving forward. Moving forward. There we go. You go back into
This is
you
why
go
this is
into
why
the
you get
Rancor
timeout.
pit. He went to the
Yeah.
Rancor pit. That's what happened.
You get timeout. So what we have next? What are the theories essentially? Like
Yeah, like
where
what? Yeah.
this-
So what do we think? We've got 5 episodes left. What are we thinking we're gonna get in the last 5 episodes? Oh, you can come back in.
I'm not
bringing
touching
him back.
anything.
So it was me and Tom bringing you back at the same time.
I know.
Um,
Yes, I'm a monster.
but yeah. So what are we thinking is gonna happen in the last 5 episodes?
I think it's gonna be more of Boba establishing his hold over Jabba's empire. I don't think the twins are going to last long because I think the twins are going to be phased out this first season for a bigger bad in the syndicate. And pretty much BK is going to end up joining Boba's side because I feel like him debuting on the show that second episode, I don't think he's going to be one of those characters that they're going to throw away. I feel like because again, aside from those two dudes, those two guards, I was like, oh, listen, we about that life. We're going to be with you, Boba. He's going to be building his army. And I feel like this is just examples of people who is going to be joining his cause.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like the twins are gonna set up something. I don't know if it's gonna be a situation where, you know, I would love to see this. If I was writing it, the mayor sends out someone to basically kill the two Hutts, the twins, and then that sets up the war between the Hutts and Boba and sees if who comes out on top. Because essentially, if the mayor doesn't like the Hutts but doesn't trust Boba enough for this, he can kill two birds with one stone by setting them and pitting them against each other.
These are true facts.
Boba's one man, but you know, like he's got it in him to like want to take down an army. So I'm here for that.
These are, as they say, actual factuals.
Absolutely.
I am on the fence. So I don't think BK is going to join up with him. I just think because from our understanding of the comic book lore, his motivations tend to be trying to get after what's his and who's done anything to him. So unless we know the Hutts have done something to him or have any sort of relationship to him, I don't see him joining Boba Fett. I do think there's going to be a fight between them. I think we're going to get some history between them. And maybe even I look the other way or I go, but I don't see him. I just don't see him joining up just for the sake of joining up. He tends to be out for numero uno. And then I'm hoping we get more dialogue with the twins and what their plans are and what they plan to do in the city and on the planet as a whole, for them to ultimately be killed in the end, and then to maybe Boba just trying to make Boba having to deal with the politics of it all. Like he's got this righteousness of dealing with respect and treating people with respect, but he's going to have to deal with the politics of it all if he's going to want to play this game and seeing how he handles that.
So we are on our next segment.
Is it? All right. Hold on. I have stuff for this. Give me un momento. All right. So, guys, I am being plugged because my book. Hold on, I'll actually share it. Share screen. Let's pull. Okay. So my book to the there it goes, to the boy that grew up. 15 poems and 15 photos that I've taken over the course of however many years now. It's been like 17 plus years with the poetry and 6 years, I want to say, going on with the photography. Is going to be available this upcoming Saturday for my birthday. I'm also doing a birthday stream and a subathon on Twitch. You can join me at Twitch on twitch.tv/TAOS by law. My name, as you guys know. We'll be doing lots of giveaways and a whole bunch of other stuff and community things. Join the Discord for more announcements and more fun along the way. The print shop is open. 13 out of the 15 prints from the book are available on the print shop right now. So if you guys want to check that out, go to my Teespring store and go check out that now. What are we doing?
I think he's showing your stuff.
Oh, there's like there's so many like
so much slurs.
He's
There you
trying,
go.
he's trying to help. He's trying to help, man.
There's so much movement. But yeah,
Movement.
that's about it. Like my first book is coming out. I say my first book because I'm already working on my second book. And yeah, pre-orders for the book are available digitally right now. I think Seabass, you dropped the link. And the actual physical copy, it will be available this Saturday. All will be sold on Amazon. I know. And yes, I have people asking me if I want to autograph them. I will autograph them. You just have to send it to me or get it to me somehow, and we'll figure about sending it back. But yes, I will autograph, which is a thing I never thought I'd say.
Buy enough, we'll get him
that's
to
it.
book on. Get him to book on.
I'm legit questioning if, like, because I kind of know what the parameters are now for getting your book as a bestseller on like the New York Times bestseller list, and I'm like, I don't know if it could happen, but it'd be cool if it did. So that's where I'm at right now. But that's it. That's the plug. That's the. I think.
How does it feel? You
of
got
it.
the plug. You got plugged
Indeed.
away.
Indeed.
I don't know, honestly. Like I think like it hit me, but it hasn't like fully sunken in yet. And I don't think it will until Saturday, when I like see people just like, I ordered mine, blah blah blah, this and third. Because I know a lot of people are saying that they are. I don't know that it won't hit me until like I actually see like the numbers, and I'm like, oh, there's so many of you guys who are interested in it. And I'm also like, as excited as I have been, and this is something I've been wanting since like my senior year of high school, is to put out a book of my work. It's also one of those things where, because it's so close to happening, I'm like kind of nervous because of like, oh shit, what if people don't like it? What are the like, I don't know, this, that, third. Like, and I've shown people, like people have seen the manuscript, people have seen the photos like beforehand, and I know they're not blowing smoke up my ass. I would hope that they're not blowing smoke up my ass, but like, yeah, it's all the nerves, all the jitters. I kind of just want it done. Like I want Saturday here now, so I can just like, boom, publish, guys, get your stuff, all that good fun jazz. So I'm hoping that all goes well and it's a good time. Like I said, it'll be a subathon. I'm starting on Saturday. Hopefully it ends before next Tuesday's Nerds. Otherwise, we're doing a subathon and a nerd stream at the same time.
Yeah, you love
Which
to
should
see
be
it.
fun.
Yeah, I love to see it.
Yeah, that's been an episode.
But also, thank you, Dime, for the raid. Appreciate you, brother. One of my many like brothers in arms with poetry, with filmmaking, photography, and also now with Twitch. So shout out to Dime and the crew for coming through, and shout out to Pong, because that was a fun episode that we did with you on Friday.
Oh wow!
hey!
There he goes, Gerald.
Wow!
Gerald, you got to get low on your show now because book is dropping this Saturday. You missed it, so you got to go watch the replay.
Never, I guess.
Spoil it all for you, Gerald. But with that, this has been your boy Sebastian.
It's your boy Law.
And your boy Tone from across the hall.
Peace. Enjoy. And beautiful beam footage. 3, 2.
Wait.
What?
Also, I forgot to mention. So my uncle found our podcast.
This is a professional podcast, people.
Yeah. But I know. I promise you. But it's something I forgot to tell you guys before because I was trying to tell you guys before. But like randomly, my uncle found us. So like we're getting out there.
There you go.
So be excited. Like 2022, we're gonna just be out there. Everyone's gonna find us, and we're gonna do big things. Sorry for all that.
We're putting our big boy pants on.
Let's roll
Let's
that
roll the
beam
blue
footage.
switch. Yeah, Gerald, Rockstars of 2022. We got you.
Thank you.